All right, let's get started. Thanks for tuning in. For those of you who may not know me on a personal level, allow me just a few minutes to introduce myself and explain why I'm so excited about the information that you're about to hear. My name is Marco Rodriguez. My beautiful wife, Diane, and I are both occupational therapists by education. And until 2010, I worked for one of the local hospitals here in town. And to be honest, I enjoyed my job. I was very good at it. You know, what I didn't like was the lack of freedom. And maybe some of you can relate with this. I didn't like the idea that someone else gets to tell you what time to get up and go to work in the morning. They control your lunch breaks. They even get to tell you if and when you can go on vacation. And I don't know about you, but every time you ask for a day off, it almost seems like you have to beg for it. And of course, someone else gets to determine what your worth is, through your paycheck, of course. And it's usually less than what you might think you're worth. Again, I don't know about you, but I just couldn't see myself doing that for the rest of my life. So in 2010, Diane and I decided to start a private practice, hoping that by running a traditional business, we'd still provide a valuable service to the community. And at the same time, we might make a little more money and certainly have more time freedom. And we've been blessed. Over the years, we've built one of the largest outpatient clinics of its kind in the country. But of course, with it comes its pros and cons. If you've ever run a traditional business, you know that in many respects, it's like jumping out of the frying pan and into the fire. But I knew I didn't want to go back to the rat race of a traditional job. So, what do? Well, in 2018, Diane and I became open to the idea of starting a second company. But we knew this one needed to be different. And we like the flexibility of an online or e-commerce business, one that you can run from home or really anywhere. Now, in full disclosure, I knew nothing about e-commerce. So we knew it was a good idea to find one that had a proven training system that was simple enough to learn. In addition, we still like the idea of making a living helping people, so we wanted a product line that would improve our customers' quality of life. Of course, it also needed to have all the scientific backing that goes along with it. So after considering dozens and dozens of different quote-unquote opportunities, Diane and I decided to partner with a company called LifeVantage. And that was in April of 2018. And here's what made this company so special. It had to do with its product line. After doing extensive research on the product line, I thought to myself that if this could do what they say it could do, maybe it would help my son, Seth. So my son, he's now 17 years old, and when he was 8, he had a closed head injury and had been in special education for about 8 years. After biohacking with him for approximately 4 months, his academic performance improved so much that he literally tested out of special education and is now in advanced placement receiving college credit. Now, I understand that that's very difficult to believe. If I hadn't seen it with my own eyes, I would have never believed it myself. This product did for him in 4 months what 8 years of therapy could not do. So seriously, I mean, if that happened to you, what would you do? Well, I got excited about it. I started sharing it with a couple friends of mine, and one of those friends was Anna Cox. Now, I didn't realize at the time that she was having a lot of health issues, so she asks, if she could try it. And I thought, sure, why not? It couldn't hurt. 6 weeks later, she tells me that she no longer needs her walker to move around. After biohacking for 4 months, she gives away her wheelchair and gets rid of all her durable medical equipment and is doing amazing. We told another friend of ours whose son had neurologic atypicalities, and he was nonverbal. He had minimal to no eye contact. He had very little interaction with people outside of his family. They start biohacking, and in less than 6 weeks, he starts talking. He now engages in spontaneous and descriptive language. He progressed so well that he no longer requires one of the therapy disciplines in his school. And we told several friends about it. Different age groups, different issues, and all of them seemed to benefit from it. So if that happened to you, what would you do? Well, we got excited about it, and we decided to run with it. And our life has never been the same again. Now, I don't say that flippantly. I literally mean that Diane and I are more excited about life than we've ever been. We've traveled more, and several of those have been LifeVantage incentive trips, places like Cancun, Puerto Vallarta. Oh my gosh, the scuba diving excursions, and I could just go on all day, but I know that you did not log on to hear me talk about the incentive trip. So let's just dive right in. And let's start off with some disclaimers. Common sense would state that everyone's results on the product as well as the business are going to vary. And when we talk about money, it's imperative to know that we're not employees. We are independent contractors. And so some people are not making any money, some people are making a little bit of money, and some people are making a whole lot of money. And it really depends on your work ethic, what you put into it, your leadership skills, even market conditions. Heck, your coachability, that's a big one. Are you coachable? So I want to encourage you to check out our income disclosure statement, and that will give you a better idea as to what is possible and whether or not this opportunity is or is not for you. And either way is fine. So we're going to talk about 4 basic components. The first one is products and science. And this is my favorite part. As a science geek and a relatively introverted personality type, my challenge is to make this part a little fun and seem less like a college lecture. The second one is going to be on compensation. Then we'll talk about timing. And then the last thing we're going to talk about is the system. So let's dive right in, and the science and the products. So, people often ask me, where did LifeVantage begin? And the answer is that LifeVantage began in a laboratory long before it was publicly traded on NASDAQ, long before it became the global phenomenon that it is today. LifeVantage began in a laboratory with a group of scientists who wanted to answer one simple question that had to do with health and lifespan. Is there anything that we can do about our lifespan? Or is it just something that we are a prisoner of? So that led to some pretty critical discoveries. And for the sake of time, I won't go into all the science behind it, but suffice to say that those discoveries, one of them being that your cells in your body have the incredible ability to produce certain enzymes or proteins that can repair the cells. They can slow down the biological clock. And that led to a second discovery. And that second discovery had to do with the fact that we now have the ability to activate or to biohack into those cells and activate those survival enzymes. Now, our company was formed out of science and in 2003. And these guys, what they wanted to do, they were looking for a way to get this information into the hands of regular people. Well, it started to grow very slowly in the beginning, and it really wasn't until 2005 when things began to take off. And let me explain what happened there. So the discoveries started to rock the medical community, but it also caught the attention of health professionals, but it also caught the attention of the news media, and particularly John Quinones from ABC Primetime. Now, if you know anything about John Quinones, he's an award-winning investigative reporter. In other words, if he shows up at your place of business, it is usually not a good thing. But he comes in and he asks for a blood test. He wants to prove or disprove the theories. 2 weeks later, he received the results and he took his findings and he made it the lead story on ABC Primetime. Now, some of you may have actually seen it. So when was the last time the lead story on any news outlet was on health and wellness? Heck, when was the last time the lead story was actually positive? But that's exactly what happened to those scientists. And I'm going to share with you a short clip of that news report. And as you watch it, ask yourself, if this is true, who could benefit from this in terms of their health and well-being? And for those of you looking to become professional biohackers, think about this. If very few people know about this, how can you capitalize on this in our modern connected economy?
You want to get an edge on turning back the clock? Who doesn't? Well, it's no longer science fiction, but science possibility, a potential breakthrough. It may not look like the fountain of youth, but inside this nondescript building, I'm about to become part of an exciting experiment. For me, it begins with a blood test.
It wouldn't be the first time I've given blood for this company.
They want to check my levels of something called T-bars, which is a rough indicator of a person's actual age. T-bars can identify a condition known as oxidative stress, a kind of measure of the wear and tear on our bodies. Oxidative stress, like the rusting of an engine, is not a good thing. The problem of aging begins with the very food we eat to give us energy. As our cells burn that food, they also release toxic chemicals. Those chemicals, you may know them as free radicals, react with all the components of our cells, literally bombarding them millions of times per second, damaging all our cells. The result? oxidative stress, and we all have it. The body fights back with a system of defenses. It makes two antioxidant enzymes, catalase and SOD, whose job is to gobble up the free radicals before they can harm our cells.
So, doctor, how often do I take these?
And so, here I go. With that swallow, I've just become part of a potentially landmark scientific experiment. It's called Protandim, and tests have already shown that it revs up the manufacture of those good enzymes in our bodies. More enzymes, fewer free radicals to harm us. Normally, oxidative stress, measured by those T-bars, increases with age, but taking just one pill of Protandim a day reversed that trend for everyone at every age, even for an 80-year-old. So, just what's in this seemingly incredible pill? Well, actually, its roots are very humble. Protandim is a combination of 5 plant ingredients. Some you may know: green tea or turmeric, a spice used in Indian cooking. Others, Withania somnifera and Silybum marianum, are more exotic. High oxidative stress is associated with more than aging. It's been linked to hundreds of illnesses.
It's at the very center of many diseases: liver disease, diabetes, emphysema, asthma, all of these, strokes, heart attacks.
Even mental disease?
Yes.
Depression?
Alzheimer's disease, depression.
But what about my progress? After nearly 2 weeks now, it's time to get my results. The result? My level of oxidative stress has declined dramatically. Just look at where I fall on the graph, before and after. Have we turned back the clock? Maybe not on the outside, but deep inside within my cells. Yes, indeed.
We do know that oxidative stress is part of those disease processes. I don't want to wait until I'm 80 years old and find out that I should have taken it.
The company that makes Protandim says its tests show the pill, made from ingredients used for centuries, is absolutely safe. For more, go to our website at abcnews.com.
All right, so when that report aired back in 2005, LifeVantage was a small biotech company, really just, again, a group of scientists just looking to make a significant impact in the world of science. Well, what happened? Do you remember, in that report, did you notice that at the end where he says, for more information, go to abcnews.com? Well, guess what happened? People did. In fact, within the next week, they received over $5 million worth of orders. Now that sounds huge, right? But the problem was that these guys were a group of scientists. They were not ready for that type of growth. They had no infrastructure, no deliveries. And so everything was back ordered for 8 months. Now imagine being someone who wanted the product, wanted it for your family members, and then being told that you had to wait 8 months. So it was sort of a disaster. But here's the good news. Universities from all around the world saw that John Quinones' oxidative stress was reduced by 45% in 13 days. So that prompted them to contact the lab and say, hey, we want to study Protandim as it relates to whatever area of study that we're involved with. So, for example, LSU, in conjunction with the Skin Cancer Foundation, found that Protandim reduces the recurrence or the proliferation of skin melanoma by an average of 57%. Johns Hopkins did a very similar study on its effects on lung cancer. The American Heart Association, they published a 26-page article in Circulation magazine on its effects on cardiac health. In fact, the results were so remarkable that they funded another study with Ohio State on its effects on bypass surgeries. You have Harvard Medical School, Texas Tech, the National Institute of Health. They did a 10-year study. Now, if you know who the National Institute of Health is, right? That's our tax dollars at work. That's the same government agency that is now in the fight looking for a cure for the coronavirus. Yes, that very same organization studied this product for 10 years. And at the end of the study, they concluded that Protandim was the only, now get this, the only natural product clinically proven to extend life. It was by about 7%, which in humans is about 5 years. Okay, that is huge. All right, so we also have 25 peer-reviewed journal publications, in addition to places like, let's see here, Free Radical Biology in Medicine. Here's another one here, Journal of Cellular Biochemistry, and the list goes on and on. Now, in that video, they mentioned a term called oxidative stress. And what the heck is oxidative stress? Well, oxidative stress, people say, well, yeah, they think they know what it is. They think it's maybe you're stressed out, emotional stress. It's not that. Oxidative stress is the amount of free radicals or toxins that are building up in your body. Okay. Now, we know that it's been linked to well over 200 different diseases. So what causes it? Everything from the food you eat. I mean, all of the pesticides, all of the preservatives, all of the food and non-food that you're eating. What's another one here? The air you breathe, right? We all want cleaner air, but who's willing to give up their cars to do it? I don't know anybody, right? Pesticides, all the pesticides that travel, not just, I hear people who say, well, I eat organically. Well, you don't understand that that farmer, that organic farmer may be right next to another farmer that is not organic. And pesticides tend to travel through the air. Jet fuel tends to fall from the sky. So even though that farmer may be, or an organic farmer, it does not necessarily mean that that food is free of contaminants. Wireless signals, I mean, we're hearing all kinds of things now about 5G and how that messes up and starts to do damage to the mitochondria. So oxidative stress, you can't get away from it. So what are your options? Oh, here's another one. I forgot about this one, the rigorous exercise. Now, that's not a reason to not exercise, but whether you over-exercise or under-exercise, all of it produces oxidative stress. It all produces those free radicals, those toxins in your body. So what are your options? Well, you could eat a healthy diet, and we absolutely want you to eat a healthy diet, but I want you to look at this. You would literally have to eat 11 pounds of blueberries every day, or 375 oranges every day, or 120 tablets of vitamin C every day to get the same amount of antioxidant power as one pill of Protandim. Oh, and look at this one. 87 glasses of red wine. I mean, who's up for that challenge? I tell you what, you're going to have a lot more issues than oxidative stress if you try to consume 87 glasses of red wine. So Protandim is clinically proven to reduce that oxidative stress levels by 40% in 30 days and up to 70% in 120 days. So all of this began using activation as opposed to supplementation. Okay, so here's a couple of other things that Protandim does. Like I said, it lowers the oxidative stress. It improves the production of superoxide dismutase by 30%, increases catalase by 54%, glutathione. Now, if you don't know anything about glutathione, go look it up. Glutathione, with it's second only to water as the most abundant single molecule in your body. It is huge, and we boost it by over 300%. A couple other things, it neutralizes all three of those enzymes, right? The catalase, glutathione, and SOD working together, it neutralizes over 1 million free radicals per second, every second, in every cell of your body. That's why it can reduce 40%, think about this, a lifetime accumulation of oxidative stress can be reduced by 40% in 30 days and up to 70% in 120 days, okay? So what people ask me all the time, so what's so magical about this pill, right? Well, it's not magic, it's science. It's really just 5 ingredients: milk thistle, bacoba, ashwagandha, green tea, and turmeric. But what makes this so powerful is not just the ingredients, but it's the dosages. So it's almost like a recipe. You ever followed a recipe or not followed a recipe and it didn't come out as well as you thought? Well, that's the importance of having the right recipe. And our recipe is triple patented for the next 20 years. Clinically proven to switch off or switch on, that NRF2 pathway. Now, how important is that NRF2 pathway? Well, Washington State University said that the discovery of our ability to activate NRF2 may well become the most extraordinary therapeutic and most extraordinary preventative breakthrough in the history of health. That is powerful, okay? So that is the first theory of aging. The second theory of aging is a theory of mitochondrial decline. Now, what in the world is mitochondria? Well, if you remember from junior high school biology, your mitochondria are what they call the powerhouse of the cell. But, we know that it's so much more than that. In fact, you have 100 million billion mitochondria in your body. It's about 10% of your total body weight. Now, What's significant about mitochondria is that it starts to decline as we get older. In fact, by the time you are 50, you've got about 50% of the mitochondria that you did as a youth. And by the time you're 70, you've got 10% of the mitochondria that you did as a youth. Now, it doesn't take a molecular biologist to know the difference between a 17-year-old's energy levels and a 70-year-old's energy levels. The cognitive processing, the reaction time, the strength, and all of that relates back to a loss of mitochondria. So again, what are your options? Well, protandim NRF1 is clinically proven to promote that NRF1 pathway, which promotes mitochondrial biogenesis, which is just the creation of newer and healthier mitochondria. Now, our products are certified not only by the NSF, but also by the Banned Substance Control Group, so it's safe for elite level athletes and it's certified drug-free. The third theory of aging is the theory of sirtuins. Now, what in the world are sirtuins? Okay, let me explain it this way. Imagine what would happen in your house if your plumbing got clogged up and everything started to backflow back into your house. How sanitary would that be? Well, do you realize that that's the same process, that's a very similar process that's happening inside of your cells? Well, the sirtuins, what it does is it helps to detoxify and to clear out that cellular sludge. Our pathway is so it activates the NAD pathway. It helps support healthy longevity, mental focus, concentration, a positive mood. Oh my gosh, we need more of that these days. Boosting your mental and physical energy. Now, and when you take all three of those combined, you have what's called the tri-synergizer. So here's why it's important for that tri-synergizer to work. And look over here. If you take just the NRF2 by itself, yes, it will boost that NQ01 gene, that NRF2 gene by 40%. This one right here, the NRF1 gene by 64%, the NAD over here by 12%. But look what happens when you take all three of them together. Boom. Have you ever heard the expression that 1 can put 1,000 to flight, 2 can put 10,000 to flight? Imagine what 3 can do. You're seeing it right here. Look at this. The HMO X1 is boosted by 838%. The NRF1 PGC1A, look at this, 118%. So that trifecta is literally the LifeVantage's product pillars. All right, so I'm so glad that LifeVantage didn't stop there. They've taken that same biotechnology and they've put it into several different products. I'm going to explain a couple of these. I don't want to get into too much detail. Get back with the person who invited you and they can go over a little bit more of the details of the products. But one of my favorites here is Axio. Axio is liquid brain food. It is a NRF2 activation for the brain. So I gave my son the Axio and the Vitality stack several years ago. My son had a brain injury and he was in special education for about 8 years. I gave him these two, wondering, let's just see what happens. Within 4 months, the kid started, his grades improved so much that they tested him for special education and he tested out of special education. I want you to understand something. This did for him, and I'm a therapist, okay? I work with these kids. This did for him in 4 months what 8 years of intervention of therapy could not do. So imagine what it could do for a brain that hasn't had any injuries. I mean, my brain, I love it. I was able to clear the mental fog. It's just great. I could go on all night about that. We have a terrific probiotic. The probiotic is great. It's got a BioTrack technology. Again, get back with the person who invited you and have them share that about the BioTrack technology. We've got a great weight management system. And then earlier, I mentioned that study with LSU in conjunction with the Skin Cancer Foundation. Well, at their recommendation, they came out with an NRF2 activated skincare line. Again, get back with the person who invited you. Ask them about that. It really does work remarkably well. I've had several guys come up to me and tell me that I look 10 years younger. Now, how often does one guy go up to another guy and tell him that he looks good? Not very often, but that's exactly what's happened to me. It has been wonderful. We also have the world's first NRF2 activated hair care system, and of course NRF2 for our four-legged friends, because we always want to take care of our four-legged family members, right? So now, how in the world do you get started? Okay, well, you could be a customer, and we'd be more than happy to help you to do that at no additional cost. Now, for those of you who are interested in becoming professional biohackers and you want to make an income, LifeVantage makes it very simple to do that. They have 3 packages to choose from. Each one of them has various products that you can sample as well as share with other people. Just get back with the person who invited you and let them know which one meets your long-term goals and needs, okay? Now, once you enroll as an independent LifeVantage distributor, you are given a gorgeous website. Uses artificial intelligence to make it super seamless for your customers to buy from you. They can add it to their shopping cart, and they can even set up a subscription. 90% of our customers do it that way, all right? So how do you get paid? We get paid 2 ways. The first one is weekly. Every time you refer a customer and they buy from you, you're going to get paid. And as you build a network of customers and distributors, of product users, you're going to get paid every single month, every time they reorder for life. So this is the idea of creating leverage income. You teach a customer today, and a year from now, 4, 5, 10 years from now, every time they reorder based on their needs, you're going to continue to get paid for the work you did way back then, even up to 10 years ago, right? If you like that, drop me a heck yeah in the chat. So how do you get into profit mode, right? How do you get your money back? Well, quick demonstration. Number 1, in order to qualify for commissions, you must have at least 100 in personal volume. That qualifies you for a 30% smart start. Now, if you have 200 or over in personal volume, now you qualify for a 40% of the smart start. Now, when you move 3 of those packs, that's a good way to get your money back based on you qualifying at that 40%. So for example, if you move 3 silver packs, you're going to get back $300. If you move 3 gold packs, you get $600, and if you move 3 platinums, you'll get back $1,200. And that can happen, of course, with products as well. That could happen or every week, every month, gosh, every day. So imagine putting an extra $300, $600, or $1,200 in your bank account in the next 30 days. Now that also works with customers. Remember, 80 to 90% of our folks are customers. They don't really want to do the business, but they want to get activated. They want to biohack, flip the switch. They want to get their health benefits, right? Either way, you have the ability to make that 40%. All right, so let's move on. So why LifeVantage? Why is it that there are thousands of people from all walks of life, from teachers to doctors, other health professionals, stay-at-home moms, baby boomers, millennials, retirees, people from all over that are flooding into LifeVantage? I think the main reason is that they can work from home. Guys, I saw a great stat a while back. The work from home search has just absolutely skyrocketed and over the last few months. And everybody's looking for a way to make money from home or from anywhere, right? Even from your phone. You can do that by sharing this product line that we love, right? That we believe in, that we're taking ourselves. We have a virtual office so that you don't have to have inventory. You don't have to have overhead. This is not your traditional brick and mortar business. This is building a virtual e-commerce business using your online store. Now, the timing of LifeVantage couldn't be better, right? I mean, most of the US and Canada have yet to hear about LifeVantage. Chances are, before this video, you may not have heard about LifeVantage or biohacking. So that's pretty exciting. Also, we're seeing trends and upticks in wellness where other things are starting to flatten out. For example, luxurious items are declining. Home care, clothing, those are all dropping off, but wellness products are exploding. Also, you have to consider all of our studies in PubMed.gov. Again, it's our National Library of Medicine. Over 200,000 studies just on the subject of oxidative stress. Now, keep in mind that studies aren't free. In fact, they cost tens of, not hundreds of thousands of dollars. So what we're talking about here is hundreds of billions of dollars spent to study the subject of oxidative stress. And we know that oxidative stress has been linked to over 200 different diseases. We also know that protandim is clinically proven to reduce oxidative stress by an average of 40% in 30 days and up to 70% in 120 days. Now, as a traditional business owner, I understand that timing plays a key role in whether or not a business is going to be successful. And the timing of LifeVantage couldn't be better. We are publicly traded on NASDAQ. It's a biotech company doing over $200 million in sales. The last year has been absolutely epic for us. Oh my gosh, we've been all over the news. Our CEO was named to the board of directors for the Direct Selling Association. We launched into Spain. We are voted the best place to work for the 3rd year in a row. We added a bigger European footprint, opening up in Ireland. Last May, we introduced Aaron Brockovich, the famous humanitarian, into our board of directors. Let's see here. We won the Stevie Award for the best in product for our hair care system. And we launched, let's see here, we also opened up in Belgium. Let's see here, what else we did. We were added to the Russell 3000 based on our sales. We celebrated our 10-year anniversary. Let's see here, we're posting some of the highest fiscal quarters in 2019. We expanded our Pro Tandem line with the addition of NAD. That was a huge scientific breakthrough. Let's see here, what else we did. Let's see here. Oh yeah, we launched in New Zealand in January. Let's see, in January we posted huge quarterly revenues. We introduced free shipping, and to celebrate all that, in January 9th of 2020, NASDAQ invited LiveVantage to do what's called the ringing of the bell. Guys, that is huge. We were plastered all over Times Square in New York City. A bunch of our corporate executives and VPs went out there, and it was amazing. We are now the jersey front title sponsors for Real Salt Lake, which is a Major League Soccer team. We have expanded into dozens of markets all over Europe, North America, Oceania, Asia, and even the Caribbean. Guys, we are giving back. This company is about making a difference, building homes down in Mexico every December. It's not just about making money, it's about giving back to those in need. All right, so if you're wondering, what kind of money can you actually make at this? Just remember that we are a product-driven business. And as your organization begins to move product, LiveVantage will reward you a portion of the proceeds. For example, if you are a Pro 3, your business is doing about $5,000 a month in volume, you're going to make about $626 per month on average. Now, that may not seem like much to some of you, but to others, that could make a significant impact on their life. Let's see here. The average Pro 5 makes about $3,100 per month. The average Pro 5 usually takes them about 16 months to get that rank. Now, I know some of you are a little more ambitious and you're eyeballing those elite pro ranks like Pro 7, Pro 8, Pro 9, and that's great. But please keep in mind that it takes the average Pro 7 30 months of consistent effort to get to that level. But imagine if in the next 2 to 3 years, you could create a 6-figure income because you saw the vision, you took action, you followed the system, you were coachable, you were willing. This is what's possible. And you might be wondering, can I do this? And I get it. I sat there and I wondered if I could do this, but I just want to ask you a couple questions. Number one, can you follow a system? Because we have the support system that's been meticulously designed to put hundreds of thousands of people in its system. The system is designed to help you launch a business, learn the products, and lead a team if that's something that you want to do. We have in-person and online meetings to teach you the mindset, the leadership, and even the marketing meetings like this one that you can invite other people to help you build your business. Now, please get that. Every night of the week, we have meetings just like this where there is a professional presenter that will share the opportunity on your behalf. We also have pre-recorded presentations that you can share with someone where they will explain the opportunity again on your behalf. So you don't have to be the expert. We also have out-of-town meetings and incentive trips. Remember the incentive trips that I mentioned to Cancun and Puerto Vallarta? Well, these are all incentive trips that are fully paid for by LiveVantage. Awesome, I love it. So, all right, so guys, I think you've seen enough information to be able to make a decision. Maybe you're one of 3 that you either need more information, you want to do more research. That's great. The second one might be that you're ready to become a customer right now. You want to get on the product. You want to get activated. We'll flip the switch. You want to biohack, right? And the third type of person is you want to start on the product, but you also want to start making some money. You want to become a professional biohacker. Join the team. You want to plug into the system. You are willing to work hard and be coachable to achieve your goals and for yourself and your family. So guys, thank you so much for logging in tonight. And to all the guests out there, thank you for taking the time to spend with me. I know you had a choice and you chose to spend it with us. So I want to thank you, and we love you. And just remember, as I always like to say, there is a better way to live.